Hey, this is John from WARBRINGER, and you are watching superscum.com.
Here, and we're at the Marquee Theater on Halloween night with John Keevil from WARBRINGER. First headlining tour. How's it going?
Going pretty well. I mean, no one ever said playing metal was easy, you know, but the people that are here have been having a great time. Like bands have been having a good time, getting along well, and we've been getting a show done every day. So, and there's been some really awesome shows in there. So I'm pretty happy with it overall.
You guys are one of the many, and I'm going to say this word now, retro thrash bands.
Okay, yeah, it's my favorite word.
Yeah. No, I think your favorite word is retro revival.
Oh, yeah, that's my favorite.
Yeah.
You got it. I love it.
But that popped up over the years. Why did you decide to play thrash in the first place?
Well, because it's good.
Other than I know it's good.
That's the reason. This is good. We should play this. You know, that's honestly it. There's nothing fancy or strange about it. We heard thrash metal. Actually, I think thrash metal is a more diverse genre than people give it credit for. We heard all the, a lot of the different bands in the genre and different approaches to it, and so it's something we were interested in doing. We're drawn to the energy and the speed and the aggression, and it's something that when we kind of started putting some thrashy parts in our music, it just clicked better than what we were doing before. Because before we started playing thrash, we were kind of like, it was like the first song or two we wrote, it was more like speed power metal.
Huh. Ooh.
Yeah.
With speed metal, yeah. Power metal, ooh.
No, if you do it right, it's some of the best. You just can't get too gay about it.
The LA scene still is very saturated with thrash bands.
Yeah.
Was it hard for you guys to find your footing?
I think of like this wave of thrash bands that came out of LA, we were like the third one. I think so. We're kind of in the first bunch of bands that started doing it, and there was immediately like a second and third and probably like we're on the eighth bunch of bands that have come out of LA that are like making demos and playing local shows and everything. We were in the first bunch that we're probably like the third of them. So there was like competition, other bands, but they were also our friends. And I think just every band, as we all got better, it kind of egged everyone else on to up their game as well.
Right.
As it's a good, healthy thing,
Why, with your second album, did you go to the more polished production route?
Part of it's because we got better at being a band, to be honest. So if everything's tighter and the band is playing tighter, it sounds more polished. I mean, and also, just the first album with some of the production as well, we felt like it should have been a little more polished than it was,
It was great. I mean, I love it.
It's for me like, it's the same reason. Like if we're gonna make comparisons to like other thrash bands, Endless Pain's really raw, but by like Extreme Aggression, everything's really like tight and polished.
True.
And we've always been more into like the. Like a lot of our favorite thrash, not all of it has been like some of the later 80s, early 90s stuff where the bands the bands that started out like really raw and savage, keep the aggression, but like also get really tight, and really like locked in with the rhythms and stuff. And so just for that really tight sound we're going for, it doesn't make sense to have like total chainsaw stuff going on. We try to make it still sound like really real and natural and not like a total like modern metal record though, just because we don't want drums to go like clickety clackety click, or any of that.
With your third album, that September World Torns Asunder came out in September, the drum production was, in my opinion, better than on the second one.
I agree.
Okay, thank you.
I agree. It sounds more natural, I think. And I think we also had a lot more time to do it. So this time there wasn't ever any, oh, well, that takes, the kick falters a little on the third bar here. Let's, whatever, we'll fix it later. There was none of that. It was do it again, do it again, do it again. That's why it sounds the way it does.
Was the pressure on, though, with the third album? Because it's usually your make or break album?
I feel like, yeah, we felt like if we didn't make a damn good record that it would, set the band back. I think we did a good job. I'm happy with how it's come out.
What brought you to Steve Evitts?
He was a producer from the area. I'm not familiar with a lot of producers really, except like super name guys and ones that we've like worked with basically. But we talked to. He was a producer from the area. He has a long list of credentials and all kinds of music. Guy's been doing it since like the early '90s. I think like the first record he did was Incantation. He's done a lot of like more modern metal stuff as well. But he has a background like he knows heavy metal, the same kind that like I'll listen to. So he knew what was up and he knew what the sound was. We talked to him about it like before the record. Here's what we're going for. We want it to sound like big, really clear, but also organic. And he was into it. He basically said, okay, what we're going to do is we're going to get 90% of the record is just going to be in the takes. And then, he's just going to clean it up after. And that was kind of his approach. So we spent just most of the it was like a month and a week making the record. And we spent almost all of that time just tracking.
Do you guys write the stuff on the road, or do you do it in the studio?
Sometimes like some riffs or sparse ideas come together on the road. The origins of like 3 or 4 songs, like one of like the main riff ideas or some part of it comes from the road. But when we actually like write and finish a song, we can't ever finish a song on the road.
Right. You also had quite some time to do the record, lineup changes, hiatus, whatnot ever. Do you think it helped in producing your third album?
Yeah, I mean, the lineup we have now gets along better. I'll say that, and that helps. I'll just leave it at that. It's a little more peaceful. Carlos is a really great guy, and he was kind of, he had a really positive mentality. He's like, I want to continue the Warbringer sound. He didn't want to like replace the sound we had, but he wanted to bring his own element to it, and we were totally cool with that because we knew him from the scene, and we're like, if there is another drummer in LA who can like fill the shoes and play in our band to the level we want, it was Carlos, and so that's the guy we got.
Wasn't he supposed to be only your session or recording drummer, or was it always, yes, we want Carlos in the band?
It was always that. We had thought, like, actually, when we lost our first drummer, Ryan Bates, we asked Carlos then, because he was the only drummer we knew that we thought could do it, but he was with his band Hexen, and they were active at the time. The reason he left that is because his band Hexen was, stopped being active, and he wanted to be playing music all the time. So we were doing that, and his band wasn't, and so he joined up with us. But he was pretty clear about it. He was like, I'm not just a hired gun, I want to write, and I want this to be like my band as well. And so it came like that. He's really felt like a full member, and just he's fit right in, really.
He was also actively involved in this album, right?
Yeah, he wrote a song for it, and he plays guitar as well. So him and Adam played the instrumental together. And the song Echoes from the Void was his riffs and stuff, So he was pretty active in it. And then just all the other songs, obviously he did all the drums. So
guest musicians, have you ever thought about having guest musicians on your album?
No. It's happened twice. Not on this record. This last record was all us. But in Born of the Ruins from the first album, the opening scream there, as you may notice, that doesn't really sound like me. It's James Rivera from Hellstar, who was in the studio at the time, and we're like, dude, just do just do a classic metal, and so we did, and it sounds great. And at the same time that was happening, I did a guest vocal on the Hellstar album they were doing at the time, on a song "Angel of Death" from them. It was like 2008 release from them, and also on the bonus track for Waking into Nightmares, Road Warrior. Since it was with our older guitar player, Emilio, And, you know, so nobody, John or Adam didn't have a solo for one of the parts.
Oh.
So we were working with Gary on that record. So we said, Gary, you're soloing here, dude. Yeah. And he did. Yeah.
And that's
yeah, and that's Road Warrior Gary Holt from Exodus.
Yes.
Did a little guest solo on there.
Your album titles, all with a W, planned, or did it just pan out like that?
It's coincidence, but the third one, we knew that people would ask us this silly question every time. And we're like, do we go ahead with it? And we decided yes, and so here we are, being asked this question.
Dan Seagrave did, again, your album cover.
Yeah.
Do you guys give him kind of like an idea, hey, we want this, or is it just running with it?
Both times we gave him an idea that was like pretty vague, and he ran with it a lot. And he was really good to work with on the last record, and that's why part of the reason why we wanted to work with him again. And he was as well on this one. On this one, the concept changed more than the original one, because the whole concept for this was we're in the cosmos, world in the grip of an evil power somehow. And like there's a bunch of different ways you could go about that, you know. So what we ended up with was actually, you know, we got one and we decided it looked too much like some other things, which was a bummer because it looked cool. But then Dan Seagrave came up with the one that we have now, which I think looks even cooler.
Yeah,
so
it looks really nice.
So and I liked it too. We worked with him twice. I'm not sure if we would a third time because we want to keep things fresh. But he did two very different covers for us, and I really love both of them. He's one of, for like metal artists, you know, possibly like just the favorite of us in the band. So I don't know how the hell we're going to get somebody to follow him up, you know. That's
What's up for Warbringer after this tour?
Another tour.
You guys just got announced with Ice Earth and Symphony X. That's next.
It starts February and March. Yeah, it starts at the last day of January.
Yeah. Have you seen Stu with Iced Earth yet?
No, I haven't seen or heard it. It'll be interesting to see. Not sure. I'm used to. I actually listen to Storm Rider the most, so I'm used to that singer. But I think Matt Barlow is a really great singer, and it'll be. I don't know. Stu's from Into Eternity, right?
Yep.
I don't know that band as well as I know Iced Earth, so be hard to say how it sounds. We'll find out.
Right.
We'll see it like 30 times, so I'll be able to tell you how it's going after. But yeah, it should be killer. Symphony X, Iced Earth. Really excited for that tour. It's a good mixture there because you have like some progressive power metal. You have like Iced Earth, I'd say is like power thrash something, and then we're a straight thrash band. So it's a good package for fans of metal to come out and have a good time, I think.
Cool. All right. Well, thanks a lot, man.
Hey, thank you. Thanks for watching, everybody. Rock.